Alright guys, we are back for more of Come and Party with Nick's birthday special. We just did a game of Mario Party for the Nintendo 64 and that was a whole lot of fun. We played a game on Luigi's Engine Room and we ended up coming in third place on that. We were in contention to try to get the win in the end, but unfortunately, a chance time that happened on the last turn kind of screwed us up, and that's what pretty much ruined our chances right here. But you know, things happen like that for a reason sometimes. But anyways, for our next segment, we are going to be playing Mario Party 2 for the Nintendo 64. So let's see if we can pull off a win on this game. Alright, here we go. Alright, so as for which board that we're going to play on here for this segment, Nick requested me to do Spaceland. Alright, one player. I'm going to play as Mario for this one. Alright, so for our computer players, let's take on Peach, Yoshi, and of course Mr. Don't I Miss. Alright, we're going to set the computer players on normal difficulty. We're going to do 20 turns. And we'll have bonuses on. Alright, let's do it. Now this is one of those Mario Party games that we're doing in this birthday special where Nick didn't request a character that he did want me to use, but for some specific Mario Party titles that he did request me to use a character, I will point those out later on. But anyways, let's see how this game turns out. Alright, let's see who's going first. Alright, looks like I'm going first. Alright, so I'm going first. Yoshi's going second. Peach is going third. And Wario's going last. Alright, where's the first star gonna be? All the way up there. Alright, let's get this party started. And we start with a 9. Alright, now let's see what Yoshi gets. 4. Alright, Peach's turn. 3. Alright, on a Wario. 10. Alright, heading into a 4-player mini-game to start off, and it's Platform Peril. Alright, here we go. Oh boy, that was close. Alright, we got it! So we do get the win right there on that first mini game. We also were able to get one bonus coin along the way as well. Alright, now time for turn 2. Alright, there's a 10. I'll gladly take it. But now we gotta deposit 5 coins in the Koopa Bank. Alright, so let's go to the right. Alright, Yoshi's gonna get a 3 this time. Alright, 1 for Peach. And Wario gets an 8. Oh, interesting. Wario's going to the left, even though that's the path of where Baby Bowser is. Alright, Lava Tile is the next minigame we're playing. I certainly really like this one right here, but let's see what happens. There goes Wario. Alright, Peach is out. Alright, now it's me and Yoshi that are the only ones left. Alright, come on, we got 10 seconds left. Yeah, baby! There's another win! There's a 9. We're getting some very good rolls right here on the first few turns of the game. That's very nice. Alright, we gotta go up. Let's of course try to be careful with that counter in the center of the board. Okay, 5 for Yoshi. There's 1 space too many right there on the bank. For Peach. Now she has a chance to play an item mini game. It's Hammer Slammer. Alright, looks like Peach gets the skeleton key. And it's 1 for Wario. Alright, we have another 4-player minigame for this one. Alright, bombs away. So this was one of the minigames that we played earlier in the first segment. Now we're playing it again in this segment. Alright, let's see how it goes. Alright, Peach is out. Oh, I'm out too! Gosh dang it. Alright, it's down to Yoshi and Wario. It looks like Wario wins it. So that puts Wario up to 2nd place. Alright, let's go into the next turn. Alright, we got a 4. And I just got the first star of the game! That's what I'm talking about. Alright, now the next star is going to be over there. Three for Yoshi. Alright, Peach gets a 9. And she does not have enough coins to buy the star. Too bad. Alright, Peach can't do the item minigame right now, so she already has an item. And Wario gets a 9. He's gonna buy a mushroom. Alright, Wario's not gonna stop the trap. And he lands on a happening space. But not only is Wario going back, it's also gonna be the same with me from where I was standing at. Alright, let's get into another 4-player minigame. This time it's gonna be Honeycomb Havoc. Alright, here we go. I'll choose a 2. I'll choose a 2 again. So Peach is going to be the first one out. I think I'm just going to do a 1 this time to play things safe. Alright, now I'm going to do a 2 right here. Bye, Wario! Alright, we'll do a 2 right there. Alright, this is where we need to be very careful here. Okay, think I gotta do a 1 here. I have to do a 2 right here. See ya, Yoshi!
Finish!
And we pull off the win right there on that minigame. That is awesome. We also did manage to get 1 bonus coin. Alright, let's see what the next card has in store. Alright, there's a 10. Sure, let's go and stop the trap. Now I'm giving coins to Baby Bowser, and I'm landing on a happening space. So it looks like me and Wario are getting moved very far back. Alright, 3 for Yoshi. It looks like he did barely get enough spaces right there for that star. So now Yoshi's on the board. Alright, next star is right there. Alright, it's 2 for Peach. She gets a hidden block. She's gonna get herself 20 coins from that. And Wario's gonna bring out his mushroom. 2 and 7 for a total of 9. But Wario still has to give Baby Bowser 5 coins. Alright, Wario's going down right here, it looks like. Alright, 4-player minigame once again. Slot car derby. Alright, let's do this.
Ready, go!
Let's make sure we don't go too fast right here in the corners. Because we certainly don't want to spin out right here. Ah, dang it. I screwed myself up there. Oh, darn it. Peach just barely beat me right there for the win. Oh, well, we tried. Alright, I got a 7 right there this time. Alright, time meeting hand over 5 coins to Baby Bowser. I don't have enough money for the star right now, so I'm probably thinking right here, I'm gonna play things safe by going down. I don't really want to take any chances right here with where the counter is at for the laser. Alright. But anyways, now we get to play on a minigame. Let me just have a moment to look over the controls, just so I don't get confused about what I'm doing. Alright, let's go. To the golden mushroom for what I was aiming for, but we get a warp block instead. Oh well, you never really know if it could still come in handy at some point. Alright, 8 for Yoshi. And now the laser's about to go off since the counter's at 0. Well, nobody's on the coin being line right here, so we're all safe. 10 for Peach. And she lost some points on the red space. 10 for Wario. And he's also losing points on the red space. So this time we have a 2 versus 2 minigame. Looney Lumberjacks. This is a very easy one to win at. I'm with Yoshi here. Alright, let's do it.
Finish!
And we got it! Simple as that. Alright, there's a 2. Alright, Yoshi gets a 4. And now Yoshi's doing another mini game. Alright, let's see what Yoshi is gonna win here. And it looks like it's nothing at all. Too bad. Alright, Peach gets a 7. Time for her to hand 5 coins to Baby Bowser. Looks like Peach is going to be getting this star right here. So that will put Peach on the board, but we're still in the lead overall, which is good news. Okay, so now the next star's right there. And Peach is losing some coins on the red space. Alright, Wario gets a 10. And sorry, Wario, you don't have enough coins for the star. And you still don't have enough money. Alright, 2 versus 2. And it's gonna be Magna Carta. Alright, so I'm pairing up with Wario in this one. Alright, let's try to see if we can get a nice amount of coins out here. Ah, darn it! One of our rivals so was able to get that treasure chest. So our rivals ended up getting more coins than us, but we still get 12 of them, which is pretty good. Oh boy, me and Yoshi are tied for the lead right now in first place after that term. Anyways, let's keep it going. Alright, we got a 5. Alright, 2 for Yoshi. And Peach gets a 9. Alright, she's now setting up the trap. She's gonna open up that gate with the skeleton key, and she is going right through it. Alright, let's see what happens now with Wario. 8. So it looks like he's going to be getting this star right here. And now everybody's on the board here with a star. This is already looking pretty intense this quickly. Next star is right over there. And the counter's back to 0. And somebody is going to be losing all their money since they're on the coin bean line. It's Yoshi that loses all his money. Alright, we're on to a 4-player minigame. Totem Pole Pound. Alright. I do like this one, so I should feel very confident here. Alright, let's do this. I was a little bit early there on my timing right at the start. I'm not going to quite get a perfect performance, but let's see if I can still possibly win it overall. Oh boy, I don't know. Ah, dang it, Yoshi got it first. If only I didn't make a slight little mistake at the start, I would have had it. I usually am very good right here when it comes to this mini game right here, but it's not that often right here that I lose on it. Alright, we do get a 10. Alright, let's see, where do I want to go from here? I guess I'm gonna go to the right. And then I'm gonna go up. Okay, a 4 for Yoshi. And Peach gets a 6. Dang it! She's going for some of my coins right here. I'm pretty sure I had that coming right here, since I was the one at first. So Peach got 21 right there. What's Wario gonna get? 2. Alright, time for a 4-player minigame, and we're playing Dizzy Dancing for this one. let's find out who's going to be the first player to get that music down the center. Alright! That win is mine. Ah, dang it. We only get a 1 right there on that roll. Alright, Yoshi gets a 10. Alright, well Yoshi's landing on a happening space. So that's gonna send him back. Alright, Peach gets an 8. And she lands on a happening space as well. So she's going to be going back like what happened with Yoshi a moment ago. Alright, 2 for Wario. Now he's going to get him blocked. And he's going to be getting 20 points from that. Alright, got our 4-player minigame here, and it's Deep Sea Salvage we're playing this time. Alright, let's do this. Alright, time's up. And it looks like we end up with 20 coins. I'll take it. Alright, now we're on the last 10 turns. Alright, we get a 6. Oh, now I land on a happening space. So me and Wario are going back. And all of us are literally on the exact same space together. That's pretty crazy. Alright, 7 for Yoshi. And he's not going to set up that trap. Now there's 50 coins in the bank right here. This is getting pretty insane. Alright, 5 for Peach. She is going to set up that trap. Peach ended up getting the 50 coins in the bank. Unbelievable. Alright, 7 for Wario. So with that jackpot that Peach was able to get in the bank, that put her up to 120 coins from what I'm seeing. Alright, looks like we're playing Platform Peril again for the next mini game. Alright, so let's see if we can pull off another win here. And we're going to pull off another win right there on this mini game. So we got 2 bonus coins there on that one. Alright, anyways, let's go to the next turn, and we're going to get a 9. Yoshi gets an 8. And he's doing another minigame right here. Now a Boo Bell's in play. But let's see what Yoshi can end up with here. It's gonna be a warp block. I'm dying for Peach. Oh boy, let him block. Oh! This time she gets a star from that. Oh boy, that does not help us at all too much. Alright, 10 for Wario. Alright, we're going into a 4-player minigame. And Shell Shocked. This is certainly a great minigame. I really do love to play a lot. Alright. Let's see what happens here. Oh god, that hurt. We gotta be careful out here. Alright, looks like it's down to me and Wario. Yeah, baby! I am a winner. It was really getting pretty intense out there, but I'm glad I managed to survive that very well. Okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and use my warp block now. Alright, I'm switching places with Yoshi. Alright, we got a 5. Alright, I'm gonna have to steal away a star right here, and because Peach is in first place, I'm taking one away from her. So that does give me the lead, but we unfortunately land on a Bowser space. That can't be good. Oh wow, 10,000 coin prizes. So it looks like we're not losing anything here. So we're lucky on that. Now Yoshi's gonna bring out his warp block. And he's gonna switch places with me. So I literally switched with him with my warp block earlier now.